Hello and welcome to Wrestleopinionated. This is our weekly show all about the great shows of AEW wrestling. We are your hosts. I am Morg and this is...
technologically fucking cursed Matt Strange, and this is...
actually prepared this time, Muir.
How have you both been this week?
Ghost hunting.
Mostly ghost hunting.
Lots of ghost hunting.
I need to get invited to ghost hunting. I bought this last week and you were going to send me a link.
You said you were going to friend me on Steam. I'm waiting for that friend request.
Oh, right, you need to give me your friend name again. Don't do it on here.
Okay, I just shout it out now. No. I have very few friends and I don't need more.
Dox yourself. Go on. You can do it.
Dox yourself, Strange.
Do it.
So, this might be the first time you've listened to our podcast, and as such, you would need to know that we have a tier list, which is how we rank the matches in Dynamite, BT and Dark as a whole, and Mr. Strange will now explain that tier list in some form or another.
I'm actually being more serious today because of two reasons. One, it's a little bit harsh to make tier lists when you've just been jumped into the COVID zone of tier 2 no friends for a month. And we've got new listeners and people are liking our shit. So I'm going to explain in a standard way, a little bit easier. Alphanumerical, Jobby, you probably know it from some of the videos, comes from Japanese computer games, comes from Japanese schools. We work up in ascending scale. Our lowest rank is D. A D rank match is a shitty match. You've not had a good time. You don't care. The wrestling's off. The story doesn't matter. C is what we expect to be our average match. A good match. This doesn't mean it's okay. It means you've actually enjoyed it. There's good wrestling. There's good plot. Maybe one's a bit above the other and the other's a little bit lower, but you know, a good entertaining time you've had all the way through. C is what we expect from that. We rock up from there into a B. B is where you've got either really good wrestling, really good story, or the whole thing pops. You don't really look away other than to text your mates. That's a B rank match. Traditionally, you'll get one A rank match about a month or so. Should be show like, but A is like our top tier of what we expect. On the really good scale, you've got story going in, and it's good story. You give a fuck. You've got good wrestling throughout. You don't look away, and you tell your mates to watch it later. That's an A rank match. Should be the match of the night. More likely ends up being the match of like the fortnight or so. Top of the tier is the S rank. S rank is that match which comes very rarely. It's a magical, special piece you talk about on every single podcast and bring up Pentagon versus the Black Lotus Triad wherever you can. You've got great story, great wrestling. You don't look away. Clips of it are shared online. It's the most phenomenal thing of this month, possibly several months. It's that showstopper. That's what we want from an S. Sugoi. And that's the tier list for today, gentlemen. A little bit simple because we may or may not have new listeners who are here for my lovely Midlands tone.
So moving on from that, we move on to the bits of news that we found this week or we found interesting, or just the things you might need to know. And we're going to start off. Mr. Strange, do you want to lead off with this? Because I'm afraid it's a bit some bad news first.
The news. Where do we begin? Which one? We've got a update on Statlander's injury. She's out till June, I believe.
That's correct.
Abaddon was so badly injured in a match with Tay Conte, which I've not actually seen, that she was taken straight to hospital and has been hospitalized for a while. And what looked like a bit of a botched self spike, which we'll discuss later, did happen. So Phoenix is injured and out for a while as well. Also,
it's not a good week. That's gutting for the women's division. That's probably my favorite women's character and my two favorite women's AEW characters and wrestlers out.
Yeah.
So they pre-recorded that match with Tay Conte, or
yeah,
was
it was part of
warm-up?
the Dark series, but that's why Sean Spears had a match. He basically just had a match as a fill-in just to cover it. I don't know why, because the show's 2 hours long already, but
because they added that Tay Conte versus Abaddon is supposed to be happening next week on Dynamite.
Oh,
I'm sure I saw an advert for that saying Tay Conte versus Abaddon.
I'd be very surprised.
Sounds like the sort of thing a wrestling podcast should know.
Not a clue. It's awful, though. And I hope the best for both of them to get recovered as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
No, that's all. Well, all three technically.
Yeah, all three. Yeah.
Yeah, obviously Statlander, we've got a finite date, so she's just keep getting healthy so that she can come back on her date.
Statlander. Yes, we do have good news though.
Yes.
Quick roll on to the cheerful
Quick roll on to the good news. Mr. Muir, do you want to lead on this?
Nah, it's okay. You go ahead.
So this week, Cody sent out a big thank you because apparently the ratings for AEW in the UK, which he stated is a really important market, and to be fair, AEW have spotted that as have stated that as an important market for wrestling, because apparently the Brits are massive wrestling fans. Has been absolutely huge.
We do like our panto.
It's fair.
I could probably go on about this for ages. Like, in my weird indie shitter corner, I've looked up a lot into classic British wrestling, and obviously I did some of the classes. It's huge over here, and I'm really happy it's coming back. My granddad used to talk about people like Big Daddy and Ricky Steamboat and shit, and Vader, and I didn't get it until the 90s, the Attitude Era. It's really important. We actually appreciate a bit of our culture. Sorry, I'm going to have a wrestling fucking nerd off if you don't stop me.
It's not so much that as well. The other thing is that British fans, we get it very much so. Most British fans, you are a very young fan, and you are, it's all real, and then you immediately evolve. You either grow out of it, or you immediately evolve into a smart fan who goes, yeah, I get this. I get exactly what this is. It's a TV show. It's wrestlers playing wrestlers. They're playing superheroes. Oh, I like the way they do that. Oh, can they make me invest myself in this? So yeah, the Brits, it just seems to be our attitude towards wrestling, or British wrestling fans, is we kind of get it. And I don't mean that as an insult to anyone else. It just seems to be part of the British wrestling fan culture.
Yeah, I'm just really glad it's getting a push, and I am going to be harassing all of. We're part of quite a big nerdy expanded circle, but the rest of my family and home ground is proper working class, not into nerdy shit, no D&D, etc. And I'm really pushing for him to start wrestling. I've got my little brother on it, and hopefully that'll spread amongst all his like bricky and window fitter mates. So I'm excited.
So moving on from that good bit of news, we move on to our social media of the week. Mr. Strange will have picked some form of social media or Twitter or something you should follow or look at. So what have you got for us this week, Mr. Strange?
I have two independent little things, both of which I love in my own little way, would you believe, in my childish little heart. Jim Cornette now finally hates MJF. He has finally turned on him and taken back everything good he said about him. No longer is MJF the
surprise. I wonder why.
Yes. More on that later. But yes, no longer is he this classic, beloved, fair-esque, trained heel. He is now Jim Cornette's enemy, and I assume he will get a terrible common nickname that his fans will spam out into the world because they're not witty enough to come up with their own. Sorry, that little rip on people there. So that's some entertainment from me. If you enjoy watching old men cry about things, that's a good one. More importantly, from a plot side of things, Eddie Kingston did a promo with Phoenix and Penta.
Best friend.
I can't. Oh shit! No. We people who are listening to this know fucking spoilers. I can spoiler shit now, can't I? Nobody's.
Yeah, we're about to do a review. If you're listening to this and you haven't watched it, you should be expecting spoilers.
Yeah,
because I'm about to ruin it right now. So Phoenix obviously isn't going to be in the next round of the tournament anymore. So Eddie did a promo with Phoenix and Penta, and it's gold. You can find it on the AEW Twitter. I've shared it on ours just with "This is gold" because it is. It's proper. You can see, like, Eddie's like, no, Phoenix, it's all right. Don't worry. You're going to have to let your brother go. He'll say some reassuring words. And Penta basically just, from what I can tell, calls him a prick in Mexican and goes, lol, it's my job now. And then Eddie's like, oh, it's just comedy gold. It's Eddie and the Lucha Bros comedy gold. It covers that gap in what we're obviously going to see because it's going to be Kenny versus Penta next week now. So, yeah, go watch that. It's a good laugh. And I will always support Eddie's promo game.
make Phoenix face again.
Make Phoenix face. Yeah, this could be the turn point, boys.
Yes.
They could turn on each other. And, well, as we'll discuss later, they're very good against each other.
Yeah, and there is a particular spot in that match that we're going to have to mention that me and the Raptor went, oh! So
I've got that match is just a list of moves for me.
So I think it's time to move on. Now we've spoiled it for you. Let's discuss this week in AEW. As always, we kick off with BTE being the elite. What did you guys think of the show, and what overall score are we giving it? Mr. Muir, you're normally the one who's the most knowledgeable on this one.
Right, so we start off with the Bucks. What do you guys think of this one?
That's the BTE plot about them not coming out to Brandon, isn't it?
Yes.
Once again, I don't know if these moments should be shown on Dark, or if you watch Dark, you expected to watch BTE.
Right, I've actually thought about this.
Yeah.
So
Hit me.
I actually have a theory about this. I was thinking about this week when we watched this.
Yeah.
So the hardcore fans, like what we are going to watch all of them. Or they're going to watch BTE and Dynamite and pick out the bits of Dark they want to watch. They might, listen to a podcast and go, "Oh, that match was good. I'll watch that." So I'm starting to think less and less that because it's aimed. The casual fans are only going to watch Dynamite, and there's only so much you can do. And that Dark storyline, you might get guys who just watch it on YouTube, don't watch Dynamite, and wait for and watch the highlight bits. I know there are people that do just watch the highlights on YouTube. That's quite a common thing amongst some wrestling fans. So they might just watch the free stuff. So I'm getting less critical of this, having had this little thought about this week.
Only issue to interject is but being the elite is showing us a almost sympathetic side of the books. They do try to make things better, and Hangman's tried to make things better, and it's just not quite worked. I get it as the comedy thing, but once that starts crossing over into other shows in different ways, surely I should be aware of it.
The Raptor said she really liked the way that the Bucks were portrayed this week, because it showed that it played up the tweener thing more than we've turned heel, which I think will help in the future. But it also showed that they're going through issues, and so she actually thought it was quite character building. That was her takeaway. And after she said it, I had to agree with it.
I agree, but I think maybe we should see a hint of it in the main show, or at least in other places where it's having an effect.
I think in the main show, you're right. Yes, especially as that is a main story.
That's my only criticism. Like, otherwise, I'm down with this. It's brought me a bit back to the books. They were boring me in BT for a while.
Yeah, I thought it was a good bit, but like you said, it really should be on the show, because you want to show these complexities of the characters of the Bucks is on the main show as well. Then we moved into a very important bit with John Silver calling Statlander Buttlander.
You can tell they all love each other from the indies. Like, I watched the Statlander's match where she left PWG before coming to AEW a year ago. And there's all of them there. Like, MJF comes out to the ring and said, there's a proper community, and it really shows with their back and forth bants. Just wholesome.
I thought that she was coming back earlier because they were putting her back in the BTE until the news broke later in the week. So I was really excited because I was like, oh, is she nearly ready to come back? And then, no, she isn't.
No.
Then we had Matt Hardy trying to get his kids put over by the Bucks.
I actually really like this. I enjoyed Matt Hardy WWEing them to get his last ripping on them. You know what I mean? I kind of enjoyed the madness.
Yeah, I liked this. It was nice.
It was silly but fun.
Yeah, it was nice, silly. It was silly with kids, so it was just silly, and the kids were funny enough, not horribly annoying.
Then we had something that I've noted down as Lucha versus Matt Hardy.
Oh, the golf.
Oh, yeah. Luchasaurus versus
the golf
Matt
continues
Hardy.
to be wholesome and lovely. I enjoy the golf thing. I assume they'll jump to a different game for the second round, but in honesty, it comes up a couple of times, and I think it's just nice. It's nice to see them having fun.
I'm sort of fall apart at this point of this thing. The rest of them are fine, but here I've just got Daniel aren't the Bucks. Someone isn't the Bucks. What does this mean? What do any of these notes mean?
I don't know what that means,
Yeah,
mate. You want me to take the lead from here?
Yeah, go on, mate. Kenny
All
and
right.
the Brandon?
Yeah, Kenny's descent into, well, what we see later. Love it. I enjoy Kenny. He is not
Such a
cool.
goof.
He is
love
a
him.
fucking dorky Japanese man, and people are going to learn. They've been waiting for the cleaner for years. They didn't know what he was. It's going to be great.
Then we have Dean Malenko hanging out in the Dark Orders thing, so they're all too scared to go in to stop it.
I thought that was brilliant.
He got too many
liked
submissions.
I loved it, but I think they could have had Anna Jay walk in and drag him out. I think that would have punctuated it perfectly for me. But yeah, the man of 1,000 submission, 1,000 hold.
And we had
Not the man of 1,001 though.
Then we had Sammy and Fuego in golf.
One.
Yep.
Which was, the golf bit. Then
I liked the whole if Fuego won, they had to book him next week.
Again, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, no, that was a really good bit. Then we had the party, which only certain wrestlers were allowed into the party, and we kind of had a bit of classic BTE Cody here, which I really enjoyed. Instead of his super serious character, who's just being a bit of a wanker, which I really enjoyed.
I've missed Cody so much.
Yeah.
Like BTE Cody. Not in the ring winning every match Cody.
A bit of a twat Cody.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah,
he's just the best.
Yeah.
It was a blatant setup that the Dark Order weren't getting in as soon as you saw them.
Yeah.
Yeah, mate. Great.
Then we had the trial.
Oh, I didn't... what did I say about the trial? Was it a trial? That's the court case thing.
Yeah, the court case, yeah.
Don't think this really did anything for me.
I don't know, the bit with Ricky Starks was pretty funny.
Starks is great, though.
Yeah.
My love for that man only grows.
What was he, the hood rat attorney or something like that?
Oh.
Something like that.
Yeah, it was solid enough, but I thought this bit just dragged on a bit, and I don't think it was that needed, but yeah.
Yeah.
So I think for once, BT wasn't the best part of the show. I think it was, medium, sort of middle ground.
I mean, if we learn anything, it's that Kaz is right. A public party is better than a private party.
He is
just
true.
saying. It's correct. Yeah, it was an alright BTE. Nice, a little bit wholesome, but I can't say.
I'd say it was a C.
Yeah, it was solid.
Yeah, it's worth a watch. You're not going to go away at the end of half an hour going, well, I just wasted. You're just going to go, watch the episode of BTE.
It was alright.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Let's move on.
The Morg review. It's alright.
It's alright.
It's alright. Oh god, I have to do dark now.
Good luck, guys.
No.
I didn't do dark this week because I have too much college work.
This is perfectly acceptable. 2 hours. Two
fucking
hours.
2 hours and 10 minutes.
2 hours and 8 minutes and a couple of seconds.
Okay.
Right, my notes do start degenerating. I'm gonna warn you, boys.
I'm not surprised.
I'll just make guesses and make comments as I feel necessary.
Christopher Daniels versus Spears is how we opened.
I didn't watch this.
Pretty sure, I hope you've written down the winners more because I haven't.
Oh, I've got a clue. No, I haven't.
I think it was Spears. He won with his C4.
He did.
Spears is back to his old twattiness levels. It was just a good match. They're both really good. They're both smooth in the ring. They know each other. I'm glad Spears has returned to comedy. I think it's probably because it was an off-the-cuff out of nowhere match. They just sort of just let him fuck about, and that's where he's at his best, to be completely honest.
Going up against Daniels as well. Yeah, it was a good match.
It was a very good match. I enjoyed that quite a lot.
Great opening. Great. In fact, I've not recommended any matches. I could probably recommend that one. That was good fun. And we rolled into Brandy versus Kylan King. Kylan actually got more in on this match than I was expecting. I was expecting just a
squash,
a regular squash, and it wasn't. And they were actually reasonably solid together. Brandy does need to work on selling being in a fight more. Like, it's one thing Eddie was saying when I trained with him. Good friend Eddie.
Good friend Eddie. Good friend Eddie.
He was like, a bunch of people would like get into the ring, we'd bring our hands up and stuff. And he was like, you've got to act like you're in a fight. You've got to bounce about a bit more. You don't just sort of stand statically in your fighting position like you're on the select screen of Mortal Kombat 2. You know what I mean? I think Mortal Kombat 2 had animations.
Yeah, whatever.
John Silver ran out to, I assume, pop for a shot of brandy. In honesty, they know he's over. They're putting him out everywhere.
Yeah, that was the best bit. I mean, that
Send
was
out
not
the
to
jester.
take away from
Everyone
the match.
likes the jester.
Silver hungry.
Yeah.
Silver hungry. I had a bit for you, but this is weird. In honesty, this was an alright match. The finish could have been a little bit more exciting, but otherwise, nothing against it. Fine women's dark match, unless either of you two, who are more experienced in the ways of women's wrestling, have anything to add.
No.
It was all right. No, it doesn't get my usual. It was all right. It was all right. I mean, it wasn't horribly blown. It was a bit back and forth. It was a match.
Yeah.
It's not something I'm going to say is up there with the greatest women's matches we've had on AEW, but it was okay.
Yeah. Ali versus Starks. I have but 3 comments on this match. It's God, he's beautiful. Starks gives a performance at all times. The match was solid. Everybody was involved in this. It didn't annoy me. It was just a match. Why it exists, I don't know, but it was solid. Which is arguably... I'm not even announcing the winner. Obviously, Starks won. Obviously, Brandy won.
Yeah, because...
Yeah,
mate.
Yeah, it's dark.
Yeah. Then we roll into Fuego versus Scorpio, which I have the single comment.
I wonder who wins this one.
Solid. Scorpio won it. It's quite nice if you watch Sammy's vlog. They go around asking who's going to win that match because Sammy's Fuego's mate. And everybody's saying like Scorpio and stuff and don't know who Fuego is. And they get to Cody and Cody reads out like all of Fuego's titles. And then they watch him during the match with him cheering for Fuego and trying to get him on side. It's really kind of nice.
Amazing.
Yeah, solid. I think Fuego's going to go far. I think if he wants to make big times, he's going to have to work on some definition. But that is from a 37-year-old man who's not exactly in Hurricanrana shape. I'm going to admit.
Your job isn't being on live TV with your shirt off. So
yeah, but most of them are buffed up. Look at the difference between Alex Reynolds at the start and Alex Reynolds now.
Yes, mate.
Solo versus Dean. All right. Is that a real match? Have I made that up?
Did this happen?
Versus Dean?
Solo? It's a multi-tag.
It sounds like it's a multi-tag because it sounds like those two would be put together versus someone else to lose.
Well, I've got 3 pages of notes, so obviously this match wasn't like massively impressive. Solo is good. Oh, Dinosaur!
Aaron Solo versus Luchasaurus.
Moron,
You've got to stop calling him Dean.
It's your own fucking fault. Your own hubris failed you there.
Yeah, Solo's good. Luchasaurus is obviously improving. He's a little slow on some of his kicks and stuff, but I think that's because he genuinely doesn't want to hurt people because he is fucking massive. Solid match, nothing special. Hollywood Blondes versus Butcher and the Blade. Solid. Didn't care.
No.
Which is a shame because I like both these teams.
Yeah, but there's no reason to care, mate. There's no storyline behind it.
I'd rather see the Hollywood Blondes up against, I don't know, Solo and D3 and having a match where it could go either way.
Yeah.
The fucking actual Sean Dean, the captain, is. I want to go to AEW on a plane and be put in a match with him just so he can. In fact, I might bring that up later.
More on that later.
More on that later, Dean. Yeah. So then we roll into QT versus Penta, which is this is a particularly interesting moment for me. More on this later as well. So we've got more Nightmare people, and obviously I've got an aversion to them now because they're all we fucking see, and all they do is win. In fact, the match wasn't great. It was all right. I expect more from Penta. So earlier, literally, last match we had Butcher and the Blade.
Yep.
This is the Hollywood Blondes.
Okay, yep.
But in this match, Eddie brings back Ali the Bunny.
Why wasn't it in the last match?
Or why didn't they put QT against Blade? Why didn't they make this as opposed to give me a sec.
Hey, Blade!
A Penta is Blade's wife. Oh, thanks, man. Cool. I don't know, just. And does Penta really need to lose dirty to QT? Does QT really need to be distracted to lose to fucking Pentagon Dark?
I don't think
he's one of the Nightmare people, mate. He's too powerful.
I'm going to say that it wasn't a real distraction finish. They tried to play it that it was, but QT got the upper hand afterwards, and the match went on a bit longer. So it didn't even work as a distraction finish.
No, sounds fucking awful.
What was the point? I'm going to discuss this later. I've got a perfect little spot to
yes.
Make it.
I thought this might be the thing.
But mate, all I want is good storytelling in my TV shows. It's all I
want is less Nightmare people. Is it that hard to do?
Right, rolling on. We had KTB versus Jungle Boy, and I saw KTB, who's from the woods, in his leotard with his little not quite warhorse face paint, and I was like, I don't know what this man's gimmick is, because I don't think if he's from the woods, he could at least dress a bit more like hillbilly or ferally. If he's going for the more metally, he could probably have dressed up. But either way, the match was actually pretty fucking fun. They had a good time together. They got on well together. Sure, KTB needs to wear his gimmick a bit more, but that was actually a really good match. That's actually where I ended my first watching. I was like, this is pretty fun.
There was some chemistry there.
Yeah, exactly. In honesty, CD versus Sean Spears and this match are the two that I'd go, actually, I had a good time watching.
Good. It's good to hear.
And then you came back.
Yes, and then this morning I got up. And I woke up to Skylar Moore and Burn
Kenzie
Book,
Page,
who's dropped her book. This is the Latinas.
She doesn't have the book when she's a babyface.
Okay.
I've noticed.
Now
this.
you might have to give a bit more of a hint on this one because I was boiling potatoes for my roasties later, so I missed a few bits. And honestly, it didn't seem that bad. They didn't bury them. There was a nice back and forth. I didn't get angry about any particular missed bits. It just seemed all right. My final review was
pointless.
Morg.
Less pointless. I don't see these are the kind of matches which are less pointless because we don't see Ivelisse and Diamante much. So I don't mind having something that a match that keeps them in your eye as a tag team.
No, good point. Well,
they had a match. They didn't squash them.
Yeah, and they had a match. It was okay. It was a good tag match. It was a very, and I mean solid, as in
Ivelisse.
Good Ivelisse.
Oh, nice. That's good.
And it was a proper tag match. There was a beat down, a hot tag, a double count, a tag out, a comeback from the baby faces, got cut off. So it was a solid tag match. It was a very good learning tag match, so to speak. The match itself didn't set the world on fire, but yeah, it was okay. It was as a tag match. Watching it from a technical standpoint, I was like, oh, okay.
But we need these types of matches that don't set the world on fire to build these stars because they need more matches in the ring.
I mean, they're blatantly going to keep Skylar Moore.
Yeah,
I think they're keeping Kenzie
being trained
Page.
there, and I think they're keeping those two. And Skylar, I have learned, she shit posts about John Cruz online, and Sir Pentaco makes comments about how Skylar Moore can't make him take out the bins. So I'm pretty sure they're married and live together.
Right.
Awesome.
Serpentico / John Cruz seems like the coolest fucking dude.
It's a great gimmick, just playing two characters. I think that's amazing. I'd love to do that if I was a wrestler.
Right, we roll on to my favourite chess piece, Bishop King versus Colt Cabana.
Sorry, that always makes me laugh.
Oh,
every time I see him,
I think we've missed my favourite quote from this, from the... It was the announce team. So Ricky Starks had joined the announce team, and they had the Starks remark, which Taz was just ripping on. But then there was this beautiful line where Excalibur turned to Ricky Stark and just went, because Ricky Starks saying something to the I think it was the girls. I think it was in the women's match. I can't remember exactly which match. You do know they can't hear you. You never say that to Taz when he's shouting stuff at me in the ring, do you? which I just thought was hilarious.
I remember
and
that.
made me
that sort
crack.
of stuff. They're great together. They're good fun.
I think
I'm not surprised
Starks
they
is
keep bringing Ricky Starks back out. Sorry, Strange, I keep talking over you.
it's all right. Starks wasn't that sharp on his first time. I reckon they're using this to train his promo Bance game. I know he hates being compared to The Rock, but I reckon Team Taz are going to heal themselves into being faces.
Yes, mate.
Right, so Bishop King, highest ranking Crusader Kings, versus
Ooh.
Colt Cabana. My first note is how much political power does he wield and how does he move on a chessboard? So we'll just get
good.
that out
I
the way.
love it every time.
Yeah, this match was meh. I'm not sure why the Beaver Boys came out. I think the AEW like 4chan browsers have discovered that John Silver is over as fuck on the internet. And now they're throwing him into everything.
And he doesn't need to be thrown into everything.
He doesn't need to be. He's just hilarious. Give him his crazy, like overly hench bullshit, and we'll still love him.
Yeah, don't overuse him. Don't overexpose him. Just, keep him precious.
But otherwise, the match was meh. I expect more fun in my matches from Colt. I love Colt's distracting dick. Roguish dickhead is my ultimate.
Do you think it's time for Colt to leave the Dark Order because it's not working? That actually getting the babyface turn from Colt back out of the Dark Order is actually... I think it's becoming stale and it's not working. Either Colt's got to go evil, or he's got to realise they're evil and go, no.
Well, he's had multiple chances to realise they're evil because they've been really rude to him multiple times. So
I think we need the split. I think we need the serious side with like 5, 10, Anna and Brody and possibly Kenny to go off in one direction. And I think Colt needs to win over Reynolds and Silver and Uno and Grayson and take them off to be their own little thing because they're the guys who enjoy a bit more fun and comedy in their matches. That's my hope anyway.
So following on from that,
then
it was a priest versus an angel after we just had a Bishop King.
You what?
Adam Priest versus Alan Angels. Alan 5 Angels.
I'm back.
I guess we got nothing.
Yeah,
I guess we got nothing for it, Strain.
Yeah, Priest versus Alan Angels.
He can't hear us, mate. He's cut out. Right.
Back. I can now hear people, but I don't know what you guys...
Right.
Okay, we said Alan Angels versus some jobber.
I couldn't see your green circles, boys. I'm sorry. I've let the whole show go down.
It doesn't matter. We can skip it. We can skip the little bit.
I've just got generic wrestler versus 5 written down.
Yeah, it was... what was his name?
Man in tights with shaved head.
Oh, generic wrestler. My favourite.
Oh, create your own. As we were going to call them, create your own.
Okay.
Yeah, create your own starter wrestler.
Yeah.
Why do we need this match?
Adam Priest.
I don't care. Why do we need this match?
Mate, my review is 2 words. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, it's just pointless. It really annoys me. This is why I didn't watch Dark this week. Don't have the time to watch these pointless squash matches. Just give me storytelling, for fuck's sake.
No, watch 5, get a number.
Wow.
So we can skip that.
Yeah.
Then we had a Kaz promo at 1 hour, 24 minutes in.
God, we're only that far in. Jesus.
That's our first promo. That's our first bit of non-wrestling.
Jesus. Yep, carry on.
Kaz versus Jack. Obviously, they're both great. I just didn't care. It was a good match. I love Kaz's middle leg drop. Solid, just irrelevant. Like, good match. Arguably, it should make the list of good matches to watch, but I just don't care. And also, I think TH2 needs some wins.
They really do.
I was losing the will to live by now.
Yeah, I don't blame you guys. I feel sorry for you for having to watch this.
Following on from that match...
The 6-man tag, which has a guy who calls himself the Emperor, as in Emperor with bruh in it, and I fucking popped for that.
That's great. I'm down with that.
This match was actually pretty good. It was 3 jobbery types. I think D3, the Emperor, and I don't know who the other one was. And it was Beaver Boys and 10. So they're a great team. They've got a combi move now.
I really like
Awesome.
them. They're great fun.
As much as in fact, this is on my recommended list. Watch this match. I sadly only have 2 lines of review because I was dying inside. And Nick's going to laugh at this. You might not, Morg. My review is, glad they're powering up the Beaver Boys. Pretty good, Desu. Yes, mate. I've been on the internet too long in lockdown. Yeah, it's a good fun match. They do their Drinky Bird move.
The Drinky Bird! What a move!
Yeah, pretty good, Desu. Fun match. Watch it. Give it a pop.
If they just went match promo or just anything, just to break it up, I would have it on. But
we could have had the court thing.
Yeah.
As much as I said earlier, I'm going to go back a little bit.
Could have been on Dark.
That could have been on Dark, just to break things up instead of one of these matches. Following on from that, Wardlow versus Vinny Pacifico. Well, at least it was short.
I don't even have comments on this. It just says Wardlow versus some guy, and then Dean versus Seidel. Those are my notes on
because
this match.
It was Wardlow versus some guy, winner. Dean versus Matt Seidel.
I love the Giga Chad.
I love Wardlow, but I've loved Wardlow from day one, but I still wouldn't tune in for his matches on Dark. I'm sorry. It's just...
I am not an envious man. I am in shape enough. My face has got me far enough in life that I don't hate it. I am not a man who suffers jealousy or envy towards other men. I just go, oh, he's a big, handsome man, or he's a handsome man. I am jealous of Wardlow.
He is a beautiful man.
If I could look like any other man on the planet after Kurt Russell, it would be Wardlow.
My problem with this is he looks like our mate Triss.
What if Triss had been given the super soldier serum?
Every time I see
Triss.
Wardlow with the ponytail and everything else, I just go, it's Triss.
I mean, I like Triss, and I think he listens to us sometimes.
Also like Triss, but I'm gonna have to disagree. You know, Wardlow is.
I can see the similarities.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying they're twins or anything.
No, I get you. Right. Anyway, let's carry on.
Matt Seidel versus Sean Dean. I had really high hopes for this match, but I was tired by now. So you might have to lead if this.
Yeah, me too. I've got.
Did Ruth give any good comments about Matt Seidel this time?
I don't make Ruth watch Dark anymore.
You don't torture her.
The only people who watched Dark was me and you, Strange.
I'm not even mad. Not even mad.
Raptor doesn't watch it anymore either.
Dean versus Seidel, I've got one word in, which is good. There we go. Next.
And finally, on Dark, Sunny Kiss with Jerry Janela versus Ray Fenix.
Actually, Phoenix gets on better with Sunny than Pentagon does, as I don't think Penta has the time or space for Sunny's amount of setup stuff, whereas Phoenix can apparently just roll and bounce anywhere and just make it look great. Phoenix using more submissions is a bit rare. That's a bit more rudo than Technico. I'm not used to that from him, but otherwise, pretty good match. I love his spinning muscle buster. Yeah, it was.
It's a great move.
Pretty good, and I've been.
Sorry, carry on, and I'll give my interjection.
I've been critical of Sunny before in the past, but he's really sharpening up in a lot of places. But otherwise, yeah. Go on, Morg.
I just wonder whether Fenix was being careful because he knew he had that match with Penta coming up the next day.
Yeah,
that's why there was a bit more.
Oh, wait a second.
Moves, yeah.
Wait a second. We did have an Eddie promo somewhere in this where he went, "Yay, we're a family now and we're all together," but still didn't explain anything. More on that later.
Yeah. So
yeah, Dark. It's long.
Yeah. I think I've got to give it a C because there was nothing terrible.
I'm glad I watched Stardom instead.
C. All right. If you're gonna watch anything, watch Christopher Daniels versus Spears. The 6-man tag and Kaz versus CD.
Jungle Boy
versus
was
Jack
the other
Evans.
one, wasn't it?
Jungle Boy and KTB. That's actually really good fun. You'll see a lot of chemistry. C overall, but it could have been a B if they just fucking trimmed it. Jesus.
They
Yeah.
get 1 hour. Come on, boys.
Yeah, stop milking it. And the other thing is, I watched this on my TV, which doesn't have an ad blocker for YouTube.
Oh, jeez.
They don't have ads in dark. They don't
okay.
market it like that. Doesn't need to be that fucking long.
Well, that's actually good.
It does have
That's nice.
320.
Yeah,
It does have 322,000 views so far.
How many likes does it have?
8.2 thousand.
Anyway, let's move on to something we can all agree that we enjoyed. This night's Dynamite. This week's
Dynamite
was
great.
No. I am fully invested in Dynamite this week. It was
Hey, we're all very excited.
Yeah, kicking off Dynamite. So Dynamite opened up JR, Excalibur and Schiavone on commentary. Then we had Wardlow versus Jungle Boy, which was a tournament first round match, and Wardlow wins with 2 F10s. What did you guys think of the match, and what score did you give it?
Wardlow can throw Jungle Boy far, can't he?
I didn't take a note until about a third of the way through the match because I'd forgotten I was meant to be taking notes.
Because you're just enjoying this great match of giant man versus little scrappy underdog.
Yeah, Jungle Boy made him look like a beast. He did the proper minibus, attack the knees, properly fought around him. Somebody on the commentary said, athletic big men sell tickets. I think it was Tony Schiavone. Yes, they do. It was fucking wicked. There were some great combos. There was a pull-up to a power bomb the Jungle Boy landed out of that he got lariated through. He finally took Wardlow down for a bit, and he just sat up being mouthed, what the fuck? The F10s were immense. It was great. If I had to give any negative to it, it would be after Giga Chad won, he did the belt hand action that I hate. But I loved this match. It was everything I like.
I called him out on that. No, that was only cool once. It was one time ever that was cool. Yeah,
I've never seen it be cool.
The first time The Undertaker did it, when he'd never spoken or anything else, and he did it.
You've explained this to me before when I've been criticising on it.
Only time I've ever considered that to be cool. Otherwise, it just looks really dumb.
Yeah,
it does.
I also like the Wardlow's
great
good
match.
Teller.
Fucking loved it. Other people really have about it now.
Wardlow sells.
Yeah, he sells great.
Yeah.
I've got nothing bad to say about this match. It was a solid B match for me.
Strange.
Gone. Okay. I think we discussed it at the weekend, and he said that it was also a B match for him. What do you think, Morg?
Yeah, I've got it down as a B.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. Great start. Really got me involved in the match. So we move on to Eddie Kingston promo?
Yeah, so then there was an Eddie Kingston in-ring promo from last week. What did you think of it? So we haven't got the Eddie Kingston mega fan here at the second.
I really liked it, and I think it was a good way to build to the I Quit match. I really like the Eddie Kingston, I had to become this to survive promo. I thought that was really cool. And basically going, I had to become a bastard to survive on the indies while you were off, earning millions when you were meant to be helping us change the system. The inmates running the asylum and all that jazz. So I thought it was really solid, and I really think that Eddie is a force multiplier for Jon Moxley. I think he just makes Moxley better when he's around, and I really enjoyed it.
Well, I was about to say, and then we move on to the Mox video promo, and that was...
The retort was really good. I know you love Mox, don't get me wrong.
I've got it down as Mox promo good, because Mox promos are always good, but this was another one of those really good filling in.
I think it was just fantastic, really. So I think this is a great build to a match that I couldn't care less about, really. They've got me invested in this again when we saw it before, We saw it 2 weeks ago, and now I'm back invested in it. So I think that's, what more could you want from your wrestlers?
Well, so me and the Raptor were talking about this. The other thing about this match is, legitimately, forgetting the fact of the babyface champion might win, just might win. We can't see who's going to win this match. Now actually invested in this match because
I'd
I
love to see
quit.
Kingston win this. I'd
Well,
love to
we
see
were
it.
saying that there's a possibility he could.
I hope so.
Oh, he's back.
Yes, we can
He's
hear you.
back.
I didn't want to move on to the next match without you here, so I was
Right.
kind of dragging on a bit more about Eddie Kingston.
What did you
and
think
Morg.
about the Mox promo, Strange, and the Eddie Kingston one from last week?
Solid, had heart. I think I preferred the more Western one we had last time. Like, obviously, it was good.
The
and
Death
we had
Rider version of Mox is the best.
Yeah, I
like you
prefer the
said.
biker Mox. This
Yeah.
was good. This was a very good promo that leads into a better one.
Yeah.
I'm excited for Eddie.
So this is the interesting one.
Okay.
So Sonny Kiss versus Kenny Omega, or now as I am now calling him, Kenny 2 entrances.
Oh, mate.
Kenny Wings with the one-winged angel. So I'm just going to say now, I didn't give this match a D as a squash. I just unranked it because for me, this was one of those situations where the squash match was a
settle the goddamn
story.
down. This is an S tier match, and I won't hear anything different.
That's exactly kind of where I was going.
Yes.
It is as a wrestling match, it could be viewed as bad and adorable and a squash. As the moment that I watched on TV, I fucking loved it. I shit my pants and I gave it an S rank.
Yeah.
Oh, this was your S rank.
Yeah.
Yes,
right.
mate. This was fucking gold. The intro. He's so good at Japanese. Sometimes he translates for Michael Nakazawa. The fucking brooms, the facial expression, the patronizing celebration with Sonny afterwards.
Yeah, the Cody celebration at the end of, like, we've just put on this 20-minute technical match when all I've done is need you in the face and finished you was beautiful.
It was, oh God,
Perfect
I was laughing so hard. But we say this all the time. People seem to think that the Cleaner is this cool character where he was like a super badass in Japan.
Yeah.
No, it was still Kenny. And Kenny's
still
a
a
fucking
dork.
dork.
Yeah. As much as I like Kenny, he's a dork. You know, I'm a dork as well, so I can't really comment, but you know.
It was great. I loved it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I've got nothing more to say about this, really. It's just perfect rebuilding of the Kenny character.
Yeah, exactly that. Storytelling in a match. That's what a squash should be. It should tell me a story. And the fucking 5-minute intro, the match.
Very NJPW, just tell the story in the ring sort of thing. I thought it was great.
Did you rank it then, Morg, as an experience?
I put it as unranked because I was like, it's not a squash, it's a moment. I didn't think to rank it, to be honest. As the whole package, I'd certainly be looking at an A. But, you know...
You're outranked, it's an S.
But, yeah, I'm outranked.
Not outranked, outnumbered. That's not fair. You're the one who keeps this podcast together.
So, following on from that, we had Orange Cassidy backstage interview. Any thoughts?
It was OC. Yeah.
It was okay.
Yeah.
Bit harsh coming on after that, if I'm completely honest.
Yeah, and then we had a Cody Rhodes interview. Backstage interview. Again, any...
English Cody.
Yes.
Him call himself the Giant Killer did piss me off, though.
That really did annoy me. Also, the production issues here were particularly bad, where you could hear all the echoing and everything. Really bad.
It's not like they've got a couple of multi-million-dollar sports teams and a multi-million-dollar show.
No, mate. No.
It's not. Just transfer the mics beforehand, before you clip in. You don't clip into a thing when you're doing sound production and then go, oh, they're doing the talky thing, best drop the echo. You do that before you clip to them.
So, following on from that, and I'm pretty sure what this is going to get, we had the Eddie Kingston promo that Strange spoke about earlier.
Go on then, Strange.
God, he's fucking... I had to become a dirty rat. Yeah. He's just fucking gold. He's is...
fantastic, Bowley.
And I know he's going to lose to Mox.
He may not.
Well, this
is going to Kenny. You know it. I know it.
But I can't see him saying I quit. That's the thing. And I can't see Mox saying I quit.
They'll do something.
They'll beat him to unconsciousness or he'll be hospitalized and taken off. Or something like that.
Yeah. the Raptor was saying that she's actually genuinely invested now and genuinely interested, because we really don't know who's going to win. This isn't that situation of, it's because I can't see either of them quitting. That match stipulation is actually interesting. So moving on from that, go on.
If they're clever and follow the crowd, Eddie would make a fabulous heel champion with his team of thugs and his, I want to say, Warhammer Orc-like attitude of Eddie is never defeated in battle.
Eddie don't lose.
I would have no problems with them putting the belt on Eddie. It'd be a short run to give him that world championship for all the work he's done on the indies, for being as brilliant as he is. I don't know whether he's
by Kenny.
I don't know whether he's a big enough draw. He's a big enough douchebag heel with a bunch of thugs that a certain drunk cowboy overcoming him would mean even more.
We've got to see how that goes. That's currently my most exciting story, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah, so I don't count Eddie out now, but I think it'll be a short run if they do, and it'll be one of those you deserve this runs.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
We've got two really good plots on the go.
Yeah.
Also,
so following on from that,
come out as well. We had the bunny bit there, didn't we?
Oh. All right, okay. I'm gonna get this out now because it's coming. There's gonna be more on it later.
Save it. Build it up. Because next we had, I'm just going to say it now, it was my match of the week.
It was fucking wicked.
Phoenix versus Penta. Phoenix wins with the Mexican Destroyer. What did you guys think of the match? What score did you give it?
Jesus. Well, we warm up with Eddie on commentary, and the first thing the first thing he did when he put on his headphones was just go, "Hello, love," in an English accent. Yeah. Anyway, JR can't fucking deal with him, and that brings me great joy. I don't think JR's ever been quite so threatened by a member of talent as possible. Obviously, this match was fucking great. Once again, I don't have fucking notes until like a third of the way in. I'm just going to run through my list of comments I made. The Sling Blade counter was great. The back and forth with the rounded kicks and all their usual moves, they just beat each other. They were so smooth. Yep. No one's I choppers you chopper me like brothers do either.
No, they're fantastic at it.
One point when Penta chopped Phoenix when he was on the post, and I literally shouted, "Oh fuck," out loud.
When he ducked.
Yeah. When Penta pulled the rope down when Phoenix was doing his rope run move, that was great. Cool. The upside down face kick thing, the middle rope swing a Sling Blade blew my fucking mind.
That was the move of the match. It was so cool. I enjoyed that a lot.
We did obviously have the one bad spot where the bouncy middle rope to top rope tiaras thing that Phoenix did, he landed on his own head. And you could see Penta and Phoenix talking to each other in Spanish a lot more. But I don't speak Spanish. And he finished the fucking match. Like, I've got more from here. He pulled off a Spanish fly. That's one of my favorite wrestling moves.
As well.
The pop-up, sit-down Penta bomb. Jesus Christ. After a neck injury, I'd like to point out. We got an arm break.
Can't believe we got an arm break. I've missed it
was the one. That was the second that happened. For those of you listening who don't know, we are big fans of a show that was once called Lucha Underground, and Penta's thing was breaking people's arms. That's how he finished the end of every match. And the second he set up for it and he did everything, and me and the Raptor are absolutely fans. This was Lucha Underground. The only bad thing was that we had a sad moment of going, they don't have Dario's office roof to go through, or wall, or door, or window.
It's not coming back, man.
Not coming back. You just have to accept it's gone. You get to.
And how dare you? And we ended on a destroyer I didn't hate. The fact he span round through the crucifix position back to in front of him.
Cool. Yeah.
This match would be, if I judge things on pure skill, an S rank match. Technically, it shouldn't score above a B for having a story going in, story coming out, and phenomenal wrestling. It's an A. This match was fucking wicked. People should watch this match.
I gave it an A.
It's immense. I loved it. This is the Lucha Bros I have been missing since Lucha Underground, if I'm honest. They have been good in AEW, but they have not been given that chance to fucking do what they do.
To shine, no.
This was it. It was great, and I loved it, and I hope that this plot drives Phoenix face so we can have more matches against each other.
Yes.
Yeah. The other thing is that Phoenix talks quite good English as well, so can go face and cut promos without much of a problem.
I'm very excited for more Lucha Bros.
Yeah.
Me too, mate.
So moving on from that, Best Friends and Kip and Miro promo package. It was all right. It told the story.
The most valuable thing that he had was that box.
Yeah,
I wanted Chuck to say that arcade machine was fake. That would have taken it up from me. The sound production was off. If you're gonna say that this arcade machine's a super smart arcade machine with a name that's anagram for Alan, at least explain. I didn't feel this promo. I thought this was a bit of a shit. This is the only thing I've ranked low in this show, to be completely honest. I don't think it was well done. I don't think it added anything.
And what happened to Billy Mitchell? You know, the King of Kong. What happened to him? Wasn't he meant to be part of this storyline?
Weren't they meant to be getting married like 2 months ago?
Yeah, man. This is a no from me, dog. I think they're wasting. Well, Miro's appearance, I think, hasn't been great in my opinion, but
it's not got over with me,
no.
other than in real life where he's lovely.
Should have been a baby face.
Moving on to a promo that did get over with me.
So then we had Colt, Silver, and Reynolds backstage segment.
Is Silver the ultimate 90s mid-card wrestler? He's got enough comedy and enough band, and he's super hench. We're not friends. You know what I mean? He's never going to be the big I am guy because he's not. He doesn't have the look, the right. So like how much people fucking love Too Cool when I was a kid. Is that the ultimate slot for John Silver?
The Rikishi slot.
Yeah. I really like this. I enjoy Colt fucking about with them, and that's why I think the Beaver Boys will go off with Colt eventually. I think this is a possible thing. I had a good time. I didn't rate it. I just thought it was a nice little pace breaker.
I think just what you were saying about Silver, and this is literally just come to me as you were saying it. I think there is a possibility for him to get a bit higher because AEW seem to know how to book people who do comedy well higher up the card, like Orange Cassidy. It would be a case of seeing what they can do. He's good in the ring. He's fun. He's over. I think a babyface turn. We could certainly see a challenge against a heel world champion, Wholesome Chad. And I think your Wholesome Chad will happen. Following on from that, Colt with Uno versus Hangman in a tournament first round match. Hangman wins with the buckshot lariat. What do you think of the match? What score did you give it?
Oh, we got wrestling and storytelling, boys. Colt, obviously entertaining, and he was at his most entertaining in this match. This was an indie match.
Was, mate.
It had great pacing, did slow a bit during the break, obviously. We got to see Hangman's phenomenal running moonsault. That boy floats. It's golden.
That moonsault is beautiful. It's the best in the biz. It has to be.
Yeah, I love Colt's style, his sort of comedy, dragging, upset your opponent, very British strong style.
Just be a dick. Yeah.
Hangman fall onto the apron made me fucking oof, and then Colt splashed off it onto him, and that made me oof as well. A couple of the sequences weren't too smooth, but I had a fucking great time. And after Hangman won, we saw Colt's friends come out and take Colt away as the loser, whereas Hangman, the winner, was it's a great story. I gave it a B. I thought this ticked every box of what I want for a good, solid. This is what I would like every bit of wrestling to be: a great match with heart, and that's what that had for me.
Also, I'd like to comment that 10's new mask is fucking cool. I like his white mask with the purple 10 marks on it. I think that's really cool.
Man.
Oh, I hadn't noticed that. I shall have to go back and look.
Yeah, he's got a new mask.
B from me as well. Really enjoyed it. It was a good match. Just solid all the way through. Mr. Muir, are you changing your?
It's B. No, definitely a bit.
Everybody's just like, this was great. This is a brilliant show.
This is the best show that I've seen in ages. I really, really enjoyed this.
Sammy
Yeah,
Guevara.
no, we just
Sorry, go on, Strange.
go on. I think we're just gonna have a lot of this show. Like my notes are smaller than normal just because of how solid it was.
Yeah.
Sammy Guevara
take back
video
over, Morg.
segment.
I just don't care about this cursed feud that they keep trying to push.
I
Didn't even write it down.
I didn't care until they said it was going to be the Elite Deletion. This better be a madcap cinematic story match in the Hardy compound. If this is a match in a ring, no, you fucked it. This has
Probably
to
the
be
safest way for Matt Hardy.
It is a safe way to do it. Like Muir just said, the feud is cursed. So do one of the cinematic matches that you've got loads more control over.
Yeah. It is cursed as much as the women's division is, so,
Yeah, it just can't
You know
catch
where
a
that
break
curse
this
comes
feud.
from.
Yeah.
More on that later.
So yeah, I think so. I wasn't interested until it said Elite Deletion.
Does that mean that he's going back to the broken Matt Hardy gimmick? Which, he should have just stayed as it. Damascus was fine. He would,
What do you mean? Dad who wrestles isn't a cool gimmick.
No,
A man who talks to microphone.
I think I think in a way, one of the problems is you bring in. See, WWE actually did this the right way round. They brought Matt in and re-broke him, although it was Woken. I think the mistake AEW made is they probably should have brought Dad Matt in first and then broken him.
Okay.
But made him get more interesting as opposed to less interesting.
Yeah.
That gets over.
You should have broken him because not everybody who watches your show knows the Broken Universe.
Yeah, no, that's probably the right way. Yeah. Anyway, it should be
Falling
interesting.
Fingers
Falling
crossed.
onto a cooler moment.
Team Taz promo.
Team Taz.
I didn't rank it, but my comments are just me reiterating my points from earlier. The first one is I love Ricky. He's
I
my
like
long
that
distance.
Cage is just there. I do like that he's just in the background, like laughing, going, "I'm a big man." I really like that. I like that.
I couldn't stop staring at his arms in this promo. His shirt properly showed him up. Once again, just reiterating the earlier point, they're going to heal themselves into faces.
Yeah.
Taz is too lovable with Excalibur on Dark, even when he's trying to be mean.
I love how he's just grumpy dad. That's my favorite gimmick. Grumpy
Page
dad.
looks like a face.
Yeah.
Ricky Starks is gonna rock himself into being a face.
Yeah.
I didn't rank it, but I love him. I love him so much.
They're solid. They're great.
Yeah. Now this was a promo I wasn't sold on.
Okay.
This was the one that just didn't do anything for me at all. I'm just getting a bit bored of Taz coming out and telling me how great they are. I'm getting bored of Ricky Stark going, I've only got one opponent and it's Darby Allin. That's it. No, he's beaten you.
That needs changing.
He's beaten you, Ricky. Shut the fuck up.
Because you're a face and because you're a heel and he's a face, so you lost.
Yeah.
Let him feud with Cody again, so we can lose to Cody.
Yeah. Go and pick on somebody else. I think the problem is they don't have a feud. There's no babyface faction at the minute. They need to be feuding with Jurassic Express.
Could feud with fucking anybody, but they'll lose.
Jurassic Express.
No.
They can win against Jurassic Express.
Jurassic Express really needs some wins because they've been eating shit.
That's what I think you can.
They do eat shit.
Yeah, they are. But yeah, they need to go and feud with Jurassic Express and probably win the 2 out of 3. Because you can have Cage and Luchasaurus. We know they can have a good match together because they're both good big man matches. And you can have Jungle Boy versus Ricky Starks. Well, that's going to be an absolute phenomenal fest. And
I want the wholesome Chads.
Marco and Taz can have a rumble.
Wholesome Chads, and we can have Silver versus Cage and Alex Reynolds versus Starks. And Wardlow can just roam in wherever.
So, moving on from a promo that just didn't do anything for me to something that... So, it was the Debonair dinner.
8.
What did you guys think of this?
The steak off at the start was fantastic, where they both kept lowering how cooked their steak was.
That was ultimate heel work for me.
Yeah.
As a long working and fully qualified, classically trained chef, they knew that well-done steak thing was heel work. People who eat well-done steaks are subhumans.
Yeah.
And
They went the
knew what
wrong
they were
way
doing.
round. They went the wrong way round in a way for me.
You think they should have started at blue and worked their way down?
Yeah.
I know. Them bidding down shows that they're stepping against what they want, which is the wrong way to eat steak, to prove manliness, which is the right way to eat steak. Bit of toxic masculinity there for you on the podcast.
I think that's a little bit of toxic chefness, to be fair.
Yeah, fair.
All we know is
it's not toxic. I have
and as the other chef,
I have a qualification that says I know about food better.
Yeah, and as the other chef who doesn't, but just knows. Yeah, they were wrong. They ended up in the right place.
Yes, they did.
Anyway, enough of the steak bit, because that was actually the vegetables of this meal.
True though, was it, boy?
No, I have to build up. I have to get this in before we turn, because oh fuck, man. I have a secret love of like swing, rap packy, Sinatra-esque music. Not many people know this. They just see me spamming ska and punk, and they're like, "That's what Strange likes." I will sit and listen to a bunch of fucking like, dance club swing music on my own and have a great time. I know all of the words to Anything You Can Do and a bunch of Sinatra tracks. So when this kicked off, I lost my share. I messaged everyone. I've sent this clip to everybody. You can watch just this on YouTube, and I have several times. The fucking MJF just flexing with his voice, because that is him singing live. Shade being thrown, the fucking dropping of the everything, S rank, and it's made loads of grumpy old men miserable, which pleases me. It was wonderful. One of you guys doesn't have to go now, or I'll keep.
My favourite part of it is when they're halfway through the song where they're dancing with the ladies and then you just fucking drop them. I think that was perfect heel work, and it was great.
Morg, do you have any criticisms at all?
No. This
is fucking wrestling. This is fucking wrestling 101.
Just brilliant. Giving it the rank I gave it was I had to go into discussion with the Raptor, so the rank I gave it. But this was brilliant. The one quote, and again, I've got to say this is not my quote. This is the Raptors. You could tell which one of them is musical theatre trained and which one of them's a rock star.
Yes, mate.
MJF was very strong,
Morgan Jericho.
As someone who has
was the lead singer of his a cappella group.
Yeah, someone who has a qualification in performing arts, and part of that being musical theatre. Yes, you could definitely tell just how
Sinatra of the song.
But God, that was good. To be honest, I didn't catch every single one of the snarky lyrics. I just caught the odd one. I was just enjoying the voice, the silliness of it, which really suits both their characters. This was just phenomenally good. I gave it an A in the end.
It voted again. It's an S. We're the positive ones this week.
Yeah.
We couldn't. Yeah. See, I wasn't sure. I couldn't make my mind up. I had that was me and the Raptor discussed.
Sports like presentation, boys.
So following on from that, Britt Baker versus Kylan King.
Britt's got better.
Britt wins with the lockjaw. What do you think of the match?
Women's 5 minutes.
Did you give it?
The women's 5 minutes was Britt was okay. She was doing a lot better, and Kylan missed a few bits. I don't know.
I thought Britt was actually good. Kylan didn't even get an intro, and that pissed me off. We've had a really good show, and she's meant to be like going up the card. They could have at least given her a music.
Just give her some entrance. Come on, guys.
Britt's really up to her gimmick work. That gimmick is worn on her face now. It's in every inch of her. You can see it. And she's really impressive. She's got better knees than Mox, mate.
Yeah. I like Britt.
The court flatliner into the turnbuckle was great. Kylan's greenness did show. She was a bit slow and a bit rough on some other moves. She's added the fucking face curb stomp move. That was cool.
Her curb
it was good.
Her curb stomp's better than Seth Rollins.
Because it didn't end anyone's career.
It's not the curb stomp. He ends people's career with. It's the buckle bomb.
He ends people's career with any sort of move. Let's be honest here. That man's dangerous.
No, it's specifically the buckle bomb. The two big injuries he's done has been from the buckle bomb.
He's injured. His ended career's been
Anyway,
multiple times, boys.
That's enough ripping on Tyler. We don't want to come across as full AEW cultists. Yeah, no, this was a good match. I gave it a C. This is like, even with the clumsiness, I think the improvements of Britt and the selling of her character kept it as a solid C. I had a good time.
Yeah, got a C from me.
I mean, this is one of our this is like our lowest ranked match now, and it was good. What a show.
So moving on from that, Darby Allin and Steve-O promo. I ranked this as Jackass.
I was on the toilet for this one.
It was just a Jackass promo.
Oh, cool. It's Steve-O.
He was cool back, 20 years ago.
I gave this an F.
Yeah.
I watched Darby Allin roll down a skateboard ramp in a coffin, in a body bag. I've done more stupid things than that. I'd rather see him be pushed down a big hill in a shopping trolley.
You're trying to appeal to the Attitude Era.
I was the Attitude Era.
But yeah, we knew who Steve-O was, unlike some of the other people they've had on. We didn't have a clue who they were. It was just Raptor said, just go back to the Guinness adverts.
Yeah, I miss his sort of psychological stuff instead of the
now it's just
stuff.
Darby Allin spends 10 minutes in black and white with a Z-list celebrity from the 2000s. Cool.
Doing a Jackass stunt. So moving on to that, FTR joint commentary. We have Butcher and the Blade with the Bunny versus Private Party with Matt Hardy versus Dark Order, Silver and Reynolds versus the Young Bucks. Young Bucks win with a reversal roll-up. What score did you give and what did you think of the match before we get to the last bit?
Right, I'm going to roll through from my opening comments because this was written before I'd watched Dark.
Yeah, fair.
Ali's just back, is she? Excalibur goes, and the Bunny was brought back by Eddie Kingston. We don't know why. They've explained how she came back. But why did she leave QT?
We know why she left QT, because Brandy was finished with her and required her no longer.
We'll discuss that more later, but I can understand explaining how, but if you're explaining a story to me, I need some why.
Mm-hmm.
Silver fucking knows he doesn't need the mainstream. Silver's doing his own fucking shit. And then my other comment, a bit like Oh Cool Steve-O, was Oh Cool FTR. Actually, onto the match. This, I would argue, is one of the weakest matches of the show. This isn't where or how I'd have ended this show with some of the cool stuff we've had. It opened up and it was all faces all the time. The Butcher's been depowered. He used to be fought like a mini boss. Now he's just being kicked over and such like. We've complimented several of their multi-tag matches on having lots of people and lots of action and not people sitting about. This match didn't have that. It had loads of people just falling about outside the rings. The commercial break was arguably more fun. We had a bit of Sammy's story. We had Silver doing his fucking rampage, which made me pissed.
Rampage was great.
Then we actually had a really good Beaver Boy moment where they showed off some of their really fucking cool combos, which was nice. Then it just went into Bucks and Private Party mostly do spots. FTR had killed the fucking commentary by this point. So that wasn't even fun to listen to because the only person who likes them is JR. There was wobbly dances. There was a really slow, awkward pile driver senton. Got reminded Butcher and the Blade were in it near the end, though. That was nice. I'd forgotten they were in it. Arguably, everything was okay, and there was story going in and out, and I should give this a C. I don't think I was as disheartened with watching it as I feel talking about it back.
Yeah.
I think it's the weakest match of the night.
It is, but I don't know.
I gave it a C at the time, so I must have been more positive at the time.
I've also given it a C. It wasn't great, though. But
Morg?
I enjoyed it. I like multi matches. I don't care about a lot of the sort of. I like the action stuff. So it got a B, but it's a B/C, so it's a B minus heading to a C. I'm quite happy to drop it to a C.
If you want to just have a match where Private Party and Bucks do spots,
I certainly don't think it was the worst match of the night. I think, unfortunately, say that, but I think that was the Britt Baker. I just don't think that was. It was too short, and it was not brilliant. There was a lot more exciting, interesting stuff going on in this.
There's exciting moments, but if you're going to have 8 men in a ring, use 8 men. Don't just use them 2 at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did start to suffer from that problem.
And like you just look around and the camera would catch a wrestler like sat by the edge of the ring and they just sort of slide back down out of view. We've seen some really good sequences and really good tag matches that I've said I expect this to be shit going in. And afterwards I've come out and go, that was phenomenal. They used everyone. They should have just done an elimination tournament, 2-on-2, 2-on-2, and then you could have had Private Party versus the Bucks in a big finale to make yourself feel cool.
Yeah.
I still think Private Party should have won this. So after that, FTR entered the ring. Some masked guy comes in and hits the Young Bucks from behind with a chair, and the masked guy is Tully.
Because it wasn't so obvious that the old dude who had to hold the ropes was Tully.
Who is that man? 30 years in the business, mate.
I didn't spot that, so I just immediately assumed. I just saw the masked guy with the chair. I was like, oh, it must be Spears. I just assumed this was set up for something else because I didn't really pay much attention. I was just like, oh, masked guy. And then it doesn't really look, it hasn't got Spears' build. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. And then he took the mask of, oh, it's Tully. Yeah.
I went, they went, there's a masked dude. And I was like, oh, I wonder if it's Spears to do like the actual thing. And then as soon as I looked at the screen and saw, like, don't get me wrong, Tully's got some good arms on him for like a late 60s man, whatever he is. But you can tell from how he walks, he's got issues and he has to hold the rope all the time. And it is just an NJPW Jado spot. Nick's right. Complete with cap and bandana around the face.
Hey, you're 30 years in the biz.
I was really, 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 really hoping that when they were getting the chair on Matt's leg, because it took them fucking forever to do it.
The Pillman item, yeah.
I was really hoping that Hangman was going to run out and save them, and this was going to be, that moment that get back together.
Cool. Yeah.
But no, it just took him like 3 minutes to set up for I don't know.
The end. Probably supposed to. He was just didn't finish his beer in time.
Hey. Yeah, the end just cost me a bit, but I was talking with Nick about this at the time because obviously you watch it later than us, and I was like, I'm not going to let this disappointing end down for me. As much as I think the last match was one of the weaker matches and the ending didn't do anything for me, the show was fucking phenomenal, and I'm not letting anything take it away.
My problem is your two ex-baby faces who've been being really heelish and not super kicking wrestlers, have been super kicking backstage people, have just had and one of my favorite teams have just had and I quite liked them coming back and being a bit tweenerish and doing the whole, but you've now just done the chair leg break and you've just had your big heel team be big heels, and that would have been so much better with Private Party and the Young Bucks coming up short again, which could have continued their story and their spiral. Because I think it's too early for Hangman to do the run-in to save them, unless he's actually watched Dark and realised that he's been screwed over.
Amazing.
Only Jericho and MJF watch the product.
Yeah, they're the only
two who actually watch the product. Watch the product, guys. You'll have seen that you got screwed over. And I have no interest for the Bucks now turning back face just to beat FTR to get the belt. I just have no interest in it.
I assume they're going to get a different tag partner for Nick as Matt's had his leg broke.
Yeah, something's going to...
Cody runs out to win that.
Oh,
that'll be... No, it's Brandy. Come on.
Babyface and female. Ooh, that's strong. Anyway, that was the show. That was Dynamite for this week. Overall, Strange. What is our overall score for Dynamite?
I'm giving it an A. I don't care.
They technically have a D, 3 C's, 2 B's, an A, and 2 S's, but I think overall it was an A. I had a fucking great time. And if they just polished up that last match, polished up the Dubsy Dub moment, I'd probably have not even left with a bit of a, in my mouth. Looking back, it was fucking solid. It was hilarious. We had great wrestling. It's an A.
So there you have it. That is our review of the week in AEW, BTE Dark and Dynamite. Moving on now to the section where we answer questions from our listeners. And Mr. Strange, I believe you have a question for us.
I do. A completely anonymous person who I've never met in my life called Dirk Slabchest has sent us in a question about wrestling.
Good old Dirk.
Yeah, cheers, man. He has asked, if you were in AEW as a wrestler, who would you like to be squashed by? Who would you like to be put over by? And, what moves would you like them to use? And I'm ready for this now. I've got an additional one added in. I'm ready.
So I'm going to avoid the obvious, the issue here of male on female wrestling.
Yeah,
being a straight male, I'm going to avoid going down some dark path here.
I'm going to do women's. I'm actually, now you've suggested this, I'm going to put in the women I would do if I was a woman.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Well, I'll go first. I would be put over by Kenny Omega. I'd kick out the One-Winged Angel because I'm that powerful.
He's been shit talking. No, I've got to talk about this for a while. He brought up the thing of, wouldn't it be great if you're an indie wrestler and you got hired on Dark to be like squashed by Kenny, and without telling anybody, you just kicked out the One-Winged Angel and won and just never went back. It's the ultimate Chad move. I've got to give you that.
Anyway, carry on with serious one.
All right, okay. If I was going to be squashed, my first choice has actually been changed. I would be squashed by the Captain Sean Dean. That man has been beaten so much.
Over.
I don't even know what his finisher is. He puts their head between their legs, does his salute, and then it just fucking gets ended. Sean Dean, you can beat the fuck out of me.
It's a good one. I like it.
If we're going for more mainstream stars, I'd get squashed by Starks. Starks puts fucking everybody over, and he'd make me look great even in defeat. It would be ace. If I was looking for somebody who'd let me win and put me over to make me, actually as the winner, I would be put over by Eddie, Mr. Eddie Kingston. Not just because he's a good friend of mine, who I've met once, but because as he is American street tough, and I am very rough, short housing estate kid. The getting punched in the face and laughing things off is actually how most of my pub stories go. So I think his style combined with me being a shorter, not so athletic man, I think that's where I'd actually get a good rook and I could look like a tough boy.
An actual person, yeah, instead of fobbing off wrestling moves, yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to think about women's whilst Morg does his male choices.
So I've just thought of this. So obviously, if I'm wrestling, my gimmick is going to be the Elder Goth. So I'm obviously going to have to put over everyone's favourite goth guy. I'm going to have to be Darby Allin, just because I think that works character-wise.
Yeah, fair.
Nothing more than that. To put me over, I'd want it to be MJF for the same reason, because he is he's the chav guy with So yeah, if I was a wrestler, my character would be the old Elder Goth, and I think that would be the match. And I'd want to go because I think MJF would be fairly safe. I think he'd look after you, and I think you can have a great match with him, and you can have a good old school style match with proper heel work. So you could be put over with him beating the crap out of you, and both walk away looking strong.
Yeah, it's basically the same principle as me with Eddie, basically. Muir? Do you get anybody other than fucking ruining Kenny's career?
Who would I like? I'd like to wrestle Pac because I think it would be a spectacle just to see him work, doing moves around you. I think it'd be fantastic.
I was going to pick Pac and Wardlow in any order.
So is Pac squashing you, or are you putting Pac...
he's squashing me. God, I'm not going over.
Is he putting you over? And who's putting you over?
Oh, who would put me over? Marco Stunt. I'd just slap him in the face and he'd turn to dust. If I was female, I'd like to wrestle with Yuka and have a comedy Japanese match because she makes me laugh so much. I'd love to do that. That'd be great fun.
Is she beating you or are you beating Yuka?
She'd beat me. I'll put over Yuka any day of the week.
All right, okay. If I was a female, I think I would.
Like Jamie Hayter.
Oh God. I do love Jamie Hayter though. I'd forgotten about Jamie. It's Jamie Hayter and Statlander for me. They're my two top ones.
What big power move women? They're fantastic.
I think I could get the win on Jamie Hayter, because if I was female, I would still be a housing estate pub female of a stocky build, and that's a proper like British pub fight between me and Jamie Hayter. Michelle Strange versus Jamie Hayter. That's going to be a rough one.
It's going to be a proper hardcore match, yeah.
I'd request a cinematic pub fight.
That'd be great, yeah.
Slam her into the
down a pub in Kiddie, just smashing it up.
Yeah, mate. Yeah. No, mate. We did. Oh no, the Angels closed in Bewdley. Yeah, but yeah, a kiddie pub at the Pennies. That'd be fucking wicked.
Yes, mate.
And Statlander can big bang attack me. That'd be great. I'll take those Oklahoma rolls. I'll get confused and angry in my rough way, and
that'd
she
be
can
great.
confuse the shit out of me because I don't know how to deal with madness. Morg, your women's of choice?
I think can squash me. So again, obviously, I'm now going in as a female elder goth girl. I believe Rhiannon was what I would have been if I was a girl. So it will obviously be Rhiannon. So I think, based on the same kind of principle as before, so the person I would put over would be Red Velvet.
God, she's good.
Yeah, because again, I reckon I'd look really good in defeat.
Oh, yeah.
And he was on my list. I swapped
and the one I would want to beat, again, playing the goth girl versus the mean girl, would probably be Britt Baker.
Yeah, good call.
Again, just because there's an automatic storyline there.
Yeah, wicked, amazing. It's really hard to picture a little grey-haired female me. If I'm completely honest.
You like what was his name again?
Dirk
Slapchest.
Yeah.
If you, like Dirk Slapchest, would like to send us a question or something for us to discuss, do you want to know who our favourite wrestlers are? What kind of food we'd feed them if we were cooking for them? Any questions like that, we will happily answer. You can contact us. We are wrestleopinionated@gmail.com. We are WrestleOP on Facebook and WrestleOP1 on Twitter. Now it is that time of the week. We don't have a quiz. We don't have some random booking. Mr. Strange has a rant that I think we're all going to get in on at some point. Over to you, Mr. Strange.
Right, I've been working on my anger. My incredibly talented fiance has informed me that it is better to do a more deep precision rage than necessarily my angry screaming where I lose control. So I'm working on my pacing for this, and it's as much a sad rant as it is an angry rant, if I'm honest. Okay. What the fuck is going? We've done heels need to win. We can't do that again. Yeah. We need women's league bad. Fine. We've done less dark.
It's just cursed now, the women's league. I don't even think it's bad. I think it's just cursed.
And yet here we are. We're going to speak about the different part of the women's league. Can we keep Brandy away from storytelling? God. So this week. Stay calm, Matthew. Stay calm but angry. We have seen Ali the Bunny return to Butcher and the Blade.
For no apparent reason.
No apparent fucking reason. We've seen Brandy make her friends a couple of weeks ago with Red Velvet. And now she's pushing Red Velvet. And the plot is Brandy has toys and little brown band. And we've seen that over and over again. God. And she was in this tag story with Ali, where I put forward this brilliantly purveyed story where I thought, steal the diamond cutter.
Yeah.
And that hasn't been mentioned. That hasn't been brought up. Eddie didn't even bring back Ali, who apparently you can just walk over to.
Now, he has control over anyone's wife.
Over all women.
Yes,
looking at the story perspective from what I know, from what I've been shown.
Okay.
Ali left her husband, the Blade.
Yes.
Go out with Cutie. So assumingly they had a falling out and she wanted to go around with this new guy who she was a bit mean to. And I assumed there was some ulterior motive. She was trying to steal a good move.
Or something.
That's not been alluded to. We saw Ali slowly get one more over and be a little bit less twatty, and those two push on through a tag league and then fail in that tag league. And Dustin specifically tell Ali not to betray Brandy.
That is where the story was up to.
And Brandy just stopped being around Ali and came out to save Red Velvet.
Correct.
And so what? Eddie just walked back up to Ali, who's in a relationship with another man, presumably after leaving her husband, and just went, "No, you have to go back to him.
You have to go back."
And it just worked. Eddie's dulcet tones just fucking.
Well, they'd work on you.
Hey, Ali, go back to your husband.
Hey, Blade, here's your wife.
So, my problem with this whole thing was the problem before. What they have done is they've written themselves into a stupid dumbass corner because they've never once said that Ali was Blade's wife, and when they brought her back out, Excalibur did not mention that fact.
No, it's only existed in Eddie shouting, "Where's your wife? We've got to clean up your house."
Yeah.
Yep. So Eddie, and this actually comes down on Eddie, went to an incredibly kayfabe story and went all realistic and just. Sorry, I know how much we love him as a promo, but that was not a clever promo. As much as we joke on "Where's your wife," she was in a. It's really just.
That's not on Eddie. That's on the writer.
Yes, whoever's told him to do that. Well, it depends because I don't know how much freedom they get in their promos.
Yeah, but all they've got to do is go, "Lol, we sent her to infiltrate and gain this thing or steal some info." You could have just a single fucking paragraph. It's like. People didn't like the fucking Brandy voodoo plot, and I was just trying to get into it, so she just fucking dropped it. That's gone.
Yeah.
And then we had the Nightmare Collective, was it?
And that didn't work.
No.
It just fit. She had a thing with Anna Jay, and she's lost. They give Brandy a plot. She does some stuff with it, and then what? Is it just put into the bin? And we just conclude any one of them. Oh, no, I don't do voodoo anymore. Oh, no, I don't care about Anna Jay anymore. Who was Ali? Can we just conclude a fucking plot line? The women's storytelling is shit.
Fucking awful.
I appreciate people have been injured. I appreciate you don't have a lot to work with. But you can give all these... You've got Skylar Moore, Kenzie Page, Red Velvet, a couple of the other... the Latinas. Just give them some fucking promo game. Let them tell something in the ring. Brandy cannot drive all of your stories because whenever the story stops working, they just end it.
Moves on. Yeah.
They fed like 3 women into her now, and they've all just fucking Mel. Poor Mel.
She feels like a kid that gets bored with her toys and just moves on to something else. And
it's not necessarily her fault though, as you said. You just said it's it's the writers.
Yeah.
It's not her fault.
She writes the women's league.
She does write the women's league.
So it is her fault.
Then she shouldn't be writing the women's league.
Just conclude a story. Just any one of them. Tay J. Remember when we all saw Tay J and all that was Tay Conti and Anna J.
And it was a good storyline.
And it was a good story, and she came out to go. What happened to that? Just conclude.
You can't get all these storylines in your 5 minutes that they have allocated to women's wrestling.
Just conclude one. Wrestling is the worst part of wrestling.
Yes.
The best part of wrestling are the stories, the matches, why they're going in, how they look when they come out, fucking musicals, everything. And I don't understand what we're selling the women's league on, because we get the start of 50 stories and then they just end.
There is no solid point of that.
What's happened to Kylan King versus
back to
Nyla Rose?
Nyla Rose, yeah. She was meant to be, yeah.
No, trashed. We've had that match. Do you remember when Shida challenged anybody to challenge for the championship about 5 weeks ago?
And no one's accepted it apart from...
No one cares.
No
one.
Oh, God.
So, yeah, that's like... As I said, it's more of like a sad, low-paced rant, because I'm more just fucking disappointed in... Even Cody coming back, like, we didn't agree with some of the premise, but as our previous friend Owen Runfast said in another discussion, he saw the return of Cody and taking the title back of Brody as like the end of that storyline, as opposed to, a different thing. I can at least see that. I can see that the Cody story is continuing. I can see its beginning. I can see its middle. I can see what I thought was the end, then middle too. But it's at least there.
So frustrating. I hate to bring up Stardom every time we talk about the women's division, but I just saw a 45-minute clinic match between two rivals in different promotions that one had got a win over the other, so they'd come back to Stardom to try and see who was the best match.
Ice Ribbon.
Yeah, Ice Ribbon or, Stardom. My brain couldn't think of the top of my head. And it was just fantastic. It was just great storytelling. Okay, they had 45 minutes, not 5, but, you could do something.
So you always say about bringing up Stardom. I'm going to go to my go-to. In fact, I'm not. I'm going to save that. And there's a reason I'm going to save that. Are you over with your rant, Strange?
Yeah, I think I'm tired. I'm not that angry.
I'm just bored
tired.
of it. I'm just bored of it.
Yeah, I'm going to save what I was about to mention. Mr. Muir, over to you, because it's time for discussion. And this week's discussion?
Right, since we have quite a few new listeners, we would like to discuss what are our favourite feuds in wrestling and or in AEW, and just what we really enjoy about wrestling, because we've had such a good show. It'd be nice to end on a high note, because, we loved it, so let's talk about what we love.
So I'd like to lead this because it's fresh in my brain, this one, and it's relevant to what we were just talking about. So this one, this is about what I would suggest being, and when we discussed this for the show, we discussed about this being, rather than a match you should go and watch, something where you should actually go and hunt down the feud, maybe hunt down some of the promos, read the wiki on the storyline, and then watch the matches because the payoffs were good. And I'm going to go with Sasha Banks versus Bayley from NXT, where Sasha was the champion and it was Bayley's overcoming. It was the first women's main eventing a WWE pay-per-view of any type. The storyline was phenomenal. The matches were amazing. Much on the same grounds of the reason that Penta and Phoenix are so good together is because they're brothers. The other thing that works really well is when you have actual best friends working together.
Each other,
the reason that, as much as we rib on Charlotte and Becky have phenomenally good matches is because they're such good mates. They trust each other, so they'll go that little bit further. Bayley overcoming heel Sasha was an absolute emotional roller coaster. It is so worth watching that feud. Watch some of the backstory and then watch I think it's 2 main matches, and they are phenomenal.
I still don't understand why they have Bayley as a heel. She's so good as a face. I don't understand it.
She just needed, I think it was just, she was starting to get, she was also starting to get into the John Cena, Roman Reigns danger territory. I mean, we always used to joke at the beginning of how Vince going to handle it when John Cena with the other chromosome, John Cena, who could actually is the John Cena you want with the other chromosome turns up, because Bayley really was everything that Vince wanted John Cena to be, and she was organically that. And of course,
she's not Tam.
She's not blonde.
Carry on.
No,
she's
you're
not blonde. Therefore,
you're not wrong.
No, Tam Nakano is like the ultimate baby face of Stardom.
Nah, the protagonist of freaking wrestling, Mayu. Come on.
Look, we're coming to that in a minute.
I know.
That's my first recommendation for a feud, and because it was relevant to what we were just talking about, a feud I think is well worth watching. Over to you guys.
Modern female feud before Strange starts. Julia versus Tam, as Strange has just mentioned.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Julia is the leader
they fucking hate each other.
Is the leader of the Donnas, who are an invading force in Stardom, and Tam's one of the super baby faces. And basically, Tam fucking hates Julia. And they've just been fighting during the 5-star tournament the whole time, and it's been fantastic. Every match that they've had, they've just been going at it.
I could explain this from my perspective, because Nick has been getting me into Stardom. So Julia is a tall, blonde, really athletic, half Italian, Japanese, fucking stone cold type, sort of thing. Tam is one of the older Stardom wrestlers. She's like 32, I think, which is really old for a Stardom. And her thing is she is a cute icon, even though she comes to the ring with a halberd and has a look of evil behind her eyes.
She is evil.
And she'll wrestle everybody kind of normally, really good because she's a top star, and Julia do the same. If Julia gets in the ring, Tam gets in that ring and just screams and throws herself at her and just batters her, and it's wonderful.
And the best part of it is they won the tournament's trophy of best match, and there's only one trophy, so then it was them fighting over who got to have the trophy. It was beautiful. So that's...
If you want a real women's feud, if you really want to know,
it comes.
if you want to watch a women's feud in wrestling, you should just look up any match and the history of Kagetsu, the Prime Minister of Stardom, versus Mayu Iwatani, the terrifying, indestructible goblin lady.
That wasn't where I thought that was going.
She is priceless.
Kagetsu ran roughshod over Stardom for like 5 years. She built the Oedo Tai, which is probably the most over women stable in wrestling history. She dominated it. She cheated. She'd push refs. She'd spit in their faces. She'd walk to the ring and just tell them that they were having a dance competition and people would have to do it. She basically bled the promotion.
It was so good.
Mayu Iwatani was the upcoming little gangly, I want to be the star babyface. And Kagetsu decided she fucking hated her. And she decided she hated her for, I think it was like 3 years worth of matches. I have seen Mayu be hung.
Multiple times,
have a full set of scaffolding knocked down on her, dropped from like a 30-foot drop, kicked down 50 meters of steps. Kagetsu would just fucking wreck her over and over and over again. And after each match, she'd look down and go, "You're fucking shit. If you want to pop another pop, you'd best win this tournament." And that was Kagetsu's whole gimmick, if you look her up. She beats people and then goes, "You're shit, come and have a go if you think you could beat me in the future." And eventually she'd put them over. Mayu's one took 3 years, and I have never seen such evils performed on a person in a ring.
So we've moved a little on to what is our favourite females. What other feuds that are, full feuds do you think that are worth going back and watching? And I know you're going to have to do it, Strange. You've mentioned it once.
Hangman Omega.
I've got actually Hangman versus everyone on my list.
Yes, Hangman
versus the Elite has been fabulous in AEW, and it's legit one of the only things I truly care about in wrestling. I want to see his redemption arc or his heel turn. I want to see how he fights Kenny. I want to see how they get back with the Bucks. I want to see if Cody actually remembers he's in the Elite. Hangman versus everyone as an AEW storyline and feud is great.
Yes.
Pentagon Dark versus the Black Lotus Triad, featuring once again featuring another bunch of Stardom wrestlers, would you believe?
I am shocked.
In Lucha Underground is the tale of how a evil Japanese triad ninja gangster leader lady thinks Pentagon has killed her father and tries to cause all trouble for him, and he just laughs and pentas about like a fucking knob. And it's great, and it accumulates in one of the absolute best matches in wrestling ever, in my opinion. It is an entire episode of the show as Pentagon has to fight all three members of the Black Lotus Triad, one after the other, and features a phenomenal dive off the top of the office.
I'd like to point out those female wrestlers are also Kairi Sane and Io Shirai are two of them. Yeah. Who are two of the best women's wrestlers out there.
Kairi Sane's fantastic at the start of it, then Io's wonderful near the end. It's just a great match.
It's a shame they've been ruined by America.
Yeah.
That's fabulous. If you want some proper heart, if you want the opposite of me going on about Mayu and Kagetsu, the entire 10 years of the Golden Lover storyline of Ibushi and Kenny. And even though Excalibur claims that nobody has ever kicked out of the One-Winged Angel, if you watch this feud, you will see that someone does.
Has. Yes.
It has brotherhood, friendship, possibly gay love. Nobody's quite sure, but they did kiss a lot and were called the Golden Lovers. Turning on each other, falling apart. It's got redemption. It's got some of the best matches you'll see. It's fucking wicked.
You can just watch YouTube catch-ups about that if you don't want to watch 10 years of wrestling, and you'll still see a fantastic storyline regarding it.
But this is... Sorry, carry on, Strange.
No. I've got something to like end my babbling about. So if you've got something to add to the Golden Lovers,
No, carry on.
Okay, this is my final one because I'm aware I've sort of dominated this discussion. Because weird indie shit and random things are my niche. If you want to know what my absolute favorite feud of all wrestling is, it features probably my favorite wrestler, if not the one who is described as my stand or my spirit animal. I recommend you go onto YouTube and look up the stories of Tetsuya Naito versus Main Events.
Against the system.
Yeah. Tetsuya Naito versus the system and against NJPW as a whole is immense. Beautiful. And it caused the only time I have ever marked out, screamed, "This is bullshit" at my telly, and then flipped a chair.
It was a great moment to behold because I was there. It was fantastic.
We didn't even know who he was a week before.
I know.
This is fucking bullshit. Oh. Yeah, go on, boys. You get yours in. I've ranted a lot about Hangman and Japanese wrestling.
So, Strange, you've mentioned the thing you have to mention at least once a week. So I think I'm going to have to mention the thing I need to mention once a week. You need to start with look up WWE CM Punk Pipe Bomb promo. Watch the full thing. Don't watch after it. Just watch all the promos leading, the three main promos, the one with Vince, the Pipe Bomb promo, the one with Vince, and the one with Cena and Vince, which is fucking hilarious because there is a bit at the end of it where Vince and CM Punk both play naughty schoolboys because Cena comes out and has a go at them, and they both sort of punch each other and kind of go, "He started it." It's really subtle and really funny when you spot it, leading into one of my all-time favorite matches, which is the Money in the Bank match where CM Punk, if he wins, is going to leave the company with the WWE title. That feud is awesome, but probably I think the best feud that you should watch from WWE. It starts at the end of one Royal Rumble. It runs 2 WrestleManias until one of them gets retired by the other, and it is The Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels that end one. They end one Royal Rumble. They start one Royal Rumble. The Royal Rumble that they end is so good because the Royal Rumble ends and there's about 15 minutes left of the Royal Rumble. And Shawn Michaels and Undertaker have a 15-minute Shawn Michaels and Undertaker match at the end of the Royal Rumble.
Oh, that's the one with the awesome setup scene, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
And also it leads into the Trips Undertaker thing, which is not as good, but
not as good, but it's still good. But certainly,
it's still got heart.
You need to watch those 2 Undertaker Shawn Michaels WrestleMania matches, and I think that feud is phenomenal. Mr. Muir, feuds that are not from Stardom.
Mega powers colliding and rolling back together of between 2 WrestleManias was fantastic. WrestleMania 4 and 5, which is...
I'd love to be happier about this, but you know how much I love Macho Man and how much I hate what Hulk Hogan did to him.
Yeah, but the storyline's still fantastic of basically Hogan running roughshod over Macho Man when he's got the belt. And
yeah, but we could have gone for Macho Man Ricky. Sorry, I'm talking of your bit. I'll shut up.
It's okay. I fully agree with you, but it's still a great feud of just the whole jealousy angle between him and Miss Elizabeth. It's fantastic, and I highly recommend it if you want to watch some old school storytelling that's actually really good. You know, because a lot of people, we get down on old school wrestling, but the Mega Powers colliding is a fantastic story.
What about Hogan versus the Wall?
Hogan versus
That's the Wall, brother!
Hogan versus the Giant's another good story if you like old classic feuds. That was really good as well from WrestleMania 3. What else is good from modern wrestling? I've really enjoyed the whole Kenny Omega and Hangman storyline versus the Bucks. I think that's been one of the best told stories in wrestling, period. I think it's really good.
I think
But
if we go back
Hangman's an actor.
early AEW, the Mox Kenny.
The Mox Kenny was good. I liked it when they brought in Pac to give it a bit more of a dynamic, where Pac got a win over one of them. I think it was Omega. And then
Well, fine, let's talk about AEW then.
Yeah.
Go on.
I thought that trifecta would have been really good, but unfortunately it didn't sort of pan out that way, because I think they wanted to do the story with Kenny and Hangman with the tag teams. But yeah.
Jericho and Mox was fun, with him trying to recruit him and the famous bottle smash scene and stuff. That was actually like for a short feud.
Yeah, with Jake Hager's cradling him. That fucking made me piss. Yeah, no.
And mostly we're riding on the Hangman thing, though. It's been fucking wicked.
There is one other feud in AEW, and it is probably AEW's longest running feud.
Avalon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is one I recommend going back and watching all the build up, so you can see it from the beginning when they realise they're both the big losers, the run up through the matches on BTE in the Young Bucks backyard, setting up to become a tag team, the storyline through. This is a feud I would say, if you're just getting into AEW, it's well worth going and doing the catch up.
Yeah, man, it's fun. It's a nice, fun, easy feud as well, to be completely honest
It's just
with you.
a jerk bothering another guy. It's great.
Yeah.
As much as I would like people to feel the pain and suffering and joy I did at Tetsuya Naito's 10-year crawl from being basically exiled from the company to fame. If you want to watch some fun wrestling, watch fucking just Brandon Avalon shouting about Brandon.
Brandon!
Great.
So there you have it. That's some of our favourite feuds and some of the feuds we would recommend to you to go and watch if you're a new fan, or maybe if you're an old fan of us, watch it, or maybe we've just piqued your interest in going back and watching something you saw or missed. We've been Wrestleopinionated. I'd like to say thank you to Anchor.fm for hosting the podcast. You can find us at Wrestleopinionated on YouTube, Spotify, and Anchor.fm. Mr. Muir.
Thank you again for watching us. It's been a really good show this week regarding AEW Dynamite. I've really enjoyed it. So if you want to send any messages in to us, please send them to wrestleopinionated@gmail.com, WrestleOP on Facebook, and WrestleOP1 on Twitter. Over to you, Strange.
Once again, thanks for listening. We've actually got a few new listeners, and we're getting a few shares on. So please do like, share, subscribe if you
Really
like hearing our wonderful Midlands tones from all the way from Shrewsbury to Kidderminster.
So far.
Well, technically it's Stourport. I'm on the further side on the other one. But like, share, subscribe. Please get your mates to listen. It means a lot to us. And we enjoy having your questions and shit. Back to you, Morg.
So all that's left to be said is goodbye and good night.